Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Barb Reed, the Wexford Stamper, and I'm so excited to be bringing you my first Facebook Live for 2021. So here's to a new year of crafting, and hopefully our year will just get better and better. So welcome back. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. As you are coming in, please make sure to comment so I can see you. And I'm just excited to get back and share with you some of the amazing new product that is coming out in the new catalog. As you know, the new mini catalog, January through June, has come out and it is celebration. So if you need a catalog and a celebration brochure, please message me or comment in the comment space and I will get one to you because the new catalog and celebration are ready to go. So if you're ready to find some cool products, it's a really great time to buy because for every $50 you spend, you will get a free celebration gift. So that is so fun. Hello, I see everyone coming in. Bonnie and Cheryl and Lisa, welcome. I wanted to speak a little bit. I have changed my format a little bit. Thinking about last year and trying to make some goals for this year, I've decided to cut back on the number of Facebook live streams I do. So I'm only going to be doing one a week, but it's going to be in the evening. This is the time and the day, but I will be making 3 projects during the time on the Facebook Live. So you're actually getting more bang for your buck with the evening because I was doing the 2 a week and doing just 1 project. So now we're going to be having 3 projects tonight to see. So I wanted to just make sure that you understand the change in my format, and I will not have any more daytime Facebook Lives. But don't worry, all my Facebook Lives will be recorded and put on my YouTube channel. So if you miss it in the evening, you can always grab it out of my YouTube channel. All right, I also ask you if you would to go and like my business page. I have a Wexford Stamper business page on Facebook, and I would love for you to like that and share that with anybody you think would enjoy some crafting ideas. So if you could please like it, it would be great. All right. Now, as I am doing my Facebook Live tonight, I'd love if you would share it on your own Facebook page. And if you do that, please comment shared in the comment space, and I will pick one name randomly at the end of my Facebook live stream, and that person will get to pick one project that I made tonight, the finished product of the 3 projects I made today. You may pick one for your very own. So please share. I would really, really appreciate that. All right, so this evening I am going to be making my 3 projects. Hi, Diane, welcome. Hi, Renee. I'm going to be making my 3 projects using the Love You Always suite. I'm just looking at my notes here a bit. I'm trying to get everything in. We're going to be using the Love You Always suite. If you have your catalog, it's on page 10. This is an enormous, enormous suite. So I wanted to kind of break it down and show you which products I used tonight. So one of the products I used is this awesome bundle. This bundle is called the Forever Always bundle. And this is the one I'm going to be using this evening. Good evening, Barbara. Thanks for joining. So that one includes the Forever and Always stamp set and the dies that make those very beautiful scripty kind of words for on your project. And I use those tonight, so you'll get a really good look at them. Another product I used is this gorgeous black and white paper. This is called True Love Designer Series paper, and it's just black and white. And you might say, well, that's not really that exciting. But what's real exciting about it, it's a great color to set off your pinks and reds, but it's also great for coloring with your blends. And I'm going to be doing that a little bit as well. So that's one of the designer series papers. And then the other one is this beautiful foil paper. And this one is called Love You Always Specialty Designer Series paper. And it has foiling in it. It's beautiful. And it comes in 3 different colors: the Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, and Sahara Sand. So those are the main products that I will be using this evening if you're looking on page 10 in your catalog. So that gives you a little idea of what the things that I will be using. So let's go ahead and get started. And always remember that all the instructions and everything that I give during the, let me put me back up. All the instructions and things that I give during my tutorials tonight will be on my blog, and this video will be on my blog as well as soon as this is over. And you remember my blog is www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. So if you go on that after this evening, you will be able to find all the information that you like. And I've added something really, really great to this. There will also be a link to a PDF. So you will be able to print out the directions and all the information from tonight's tutorial if you'd like. So you can grab a PDF over on my blog as well. All right, I think we're ready to go. Who else is ready? All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first project. All right, let's start with number 1. And this is the first project for this evening. And this is a candy bar card. Okay, so it holds this fabulous, fabulous M&M candy bar. And these come in all different flavors. This is just the milk chocolate with the M&M minis. And it slides right in to the back of my card, and then my card opens up like this. All right, so I call this my candy bar card. I think that's what I called it. So let's go ahead and get started with the materials for this one. Now you already know that I'm going to be using the Forever and Always, but let's go ahead and get started with the bare bones of our project. All right, so you're going to need 2 pieces of Flirty Flamingo. This is a great, I thought you'd like it, Cheryl. Everybody has their own way they learn. Some are visual, some are need the videos. So I like to get everybody set up for success. All right, so these are the 2 pieces of Flirty Flamingo I used for this project. And the first piece, or larger piece, is cut at 7 1/4 by 8. All right, and the second piece, which is going to end up being the card front, is cut at 3 5/8 by 8. All right, so let's go ahead and we can bring in my scoring board. So what we're going to construct is kind of a wrap to go around the outside of the candy bar. We're not really putting it in a box. It's just a tight wrap that goes around the candy bar. I thought this was a great idea. I mean, who wouldn't just love a candy bar for Valentine's Day? I'm sure I would. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is the larger piece of Flirty Flamingo, and on the 8-inch side, which is, okay, I'm sorry, we're not going to do any on the 8-inch side. Okay, we're only going to be scoring on the 7 1/4-inch side. Okay, since we're just kind of making a wrap. So on that side, we're going to score at 1 3/4, 2 1/8, 5 3/8, 5 3/4. And that's it. Just those 4 little score marks, because remember, these are going to be a wrap around the bar. Okay, so I'm going to grab another bar. Thank goodness they have lots of flavors of this. Here's the crispy. This one is a crispy M&M bar. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab my piece here of the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to go ahead and crease on the 4 score lines. So you can already see how it's coming together here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my bar in like this, and then it wraps around like this to the back. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to adhere it on the back with a piece of the tear and tape. Okay. All right, let me get the tear and tape out here. Get it out here. All right, I'm sorry I was having some issues with this tear and tape. I had to take it off camera, but I do have my little sleeve completely finished. Okay, so it's pretty tight. It's not super tight, but you want it to be able to stay in there without sliding out. So that's really all you do to hold your candy bar. All right, then we're going to go ahead and make the part that's going to make the card. And this is that piece of paper. Let's turn it this way. And the only bit of scoring you do on this is on the short side again. You're going to score at 3/8. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3 notches from the end. That's 3/8. And that is making your little hinge that is going to go on the card. So let's go ahead. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit of glue right in here on the inside. You guys know I love my Tombow. You could also use tear and tape. You could also use some of the new adhesive tape, whatever you like. Come on, you. Don't give me trouble. I got lots of stamping to do, stamping and crafting tonight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue just along the inside panel there. Then I'm going to grab my candy bar, and I'm going to go ahead and just place it right there. Okay, and here's our hinge. I'm going to hold that there. So basically what you're making is a little sleeve for your candy bar, and then it opens up like this, okay, for the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the outside first. Okay, now I'm going to grab a piece of the True Love Designer Series paper, and that's this one here. And this is cut at, let's see if I have that down on here. It's cut at 7 3/4 by 3 inches. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombow again on here, and I'm going to put that right on the front. Okay. Now there's lots and lots of different patterns to choose from in the True Love. There's some stripes, there's some flowers, there's different types of designs, but I went with the polka dot for this one here. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is how I put together this beautiful little flower arrangement here. And it was pretty easy because what I ended up doing was taking another piece from the True Love set, and I just fussy cut a flower out of it. Okay, so I just pulled any of these here, and it was this little arrangement right here that has the little flower that comes out. I actually cut that one off. But this is the one right here I fussy cut. Instead of stamping, which you could do, you could stamp some of the flowers. I went ahead and hi Renee, I love the polka dots too. I just fussy cut that out. And let me show you what that looks like here. I've already done some of the coloring, but I fussy cut that piece out for on the front of the candy bar box. And I'll show you how I did my coloring here. I used the Flirty Flamingo, of course. If we're going to match, we need to use those colors. I used those blends, okay? And what I did is I first got out my Flirty Flamingo Dark. And I love the way that Stampin' Up! Does such a great job kind of showing you where the shadows would be on the flower. You can see these little lines here and ridges. So you're just going to take your darker Flirty Flamingo and kind of go up those lines. Don't stress about it, just do it, okay? And don't worry about it. That's kind of what I did for all these two here, and they turned out perfectly. So don't stress. Under no circumstances am I an artist, and I have trouble understanding the whole shadowing thing. So I kind of use the clues that Stampin' Up! Gives me to do this. All right, then what I did is I took the light, and he squeaks. I took the light Flirty Flamingo and just started from the bottom point of the flower and just came up towards the top. And as you do that, your dark is going to kind of mix in with the other color. So you're going to see some darkness towards the part of your petal that is closer to the center, and then as you move away, it's going to get lighter, and that's kind of what you want to happen when you are coloring and squeaking away on your flower. All right, then what I do is I come back with my dark again, and this time I'm going to use my brush tip, and I'm just going to do a little more kind of flicking out from the center of the flower and up over the petals, and then it does a great job kind of mixing in and blending with the rest of the flower. Okay, and then I take a teeny tiny bit of Calypso Coral, and that seems to just kind of set, let's lose the point, set off the color just a little bit more. I do that around the center there. This is a great color to help you highlight the Flirty Flamingo. The Calypso Coral works really nicely with that. Now here you can notice I left a little bit white on the outside of the petals. If that's a problem and you don't like the white, you can always go back very gently with the lighter of the Flirty Flamingo and fill those in. Okay, so there is the flower. Okay, just kind of build the color on top of each other. If you don't like it and you want to add a little more, that's fine. Okay, then let me show you how quickly you can do the Old Olive. Okay, you're going to take your dark Old Olive first. Okay, I'm going to use the bullet point, and I'm going to flick out from the flower, because this is the portion of the leaf that is kind of in the shade underneath the petals. And then I'm going to take my light, Old Olive, and then I'm going to flick out right from where the dark stops, and you want the light to begin. So then you have the darker of the Old Olive towards the on the leaf closer to the petals, and then it gets lighter as it goes away. So there it is. Isn't that so easy, so fun, and it makes such a beautiful, beautiful flower for on your project. All right, so I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and let's go ahead and get this right on the front of our project. Okay. Dimensionals are great. They're going to give your project a little bit of lift for the parts that you really want to show off. So there we go. All right, the next part is the fabulous script writing with this. I love this part of the die set. Okay, and each one of the script words has two parts. I'm pulling them out right here. They have an outline portion. This is in Whisper White. And then you have your script word, and I did that in the basic black. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love that. All right, so what I got to do now is I'm going to have to adhere the always to its background piece is what I'll call it, I guess. Okay, both of these pieces were cut out of dies that come along with this set. Now this can be a little tricky trying to glue on this tiny, teeny little bit of paper, but I use my Tombow and I just really make tiny little dots to try to keep it small so we don't have a lot squooshing out. Another suggestion, which maybe I'll show next time, is you can run the die through the sticker paper and make a big sticker, which makes it a lot easier to adhere because you just have to peel off the backing. I'll have to show you that next time. But this works just as well. And then you just line it up very carefully on the background piece. And that's also something I like about the Tombow that you can't do with the sticker paper, is it gives you a few seconds to move things around just in case it's not quite in the right spot, which happens with this because there's lots of moving parts here. So there you have it. There is the always. Isn't that so beautiful? I love that script. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over again and put some more Tombow on the back. And this will go directly on to my card front. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there on the card. There you have it. Okay, now we are almost done the front, but we can't forget the inside. And I'm thinking I might not have cut out a piece for the inside, so I might have to just talk through that one. Darn it. Tried to get all ready, and sometimes it's not always happening. But before we finish talk about the inside, let's finish the outside. I have a strip here of Flirty Flamingo cut at 1/4 inch, and I'm going to grab some of the wording from in the stamp set. This says forever and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that carefully onto this strip. Can she do it? There we go. Okay, there's the forever and then I'm going to just take my scissors and I just cut an angle on both ends like that. Very simple. And then I pop that up on some mini dimensionals. If I can find those in my goodie bag here. Here we go. Okay, let's get some of these mini dimensionals because this is a very, very thin piece of, cardstock. We'll put one right there. And we'll put one here. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and take the backings off the minis, and then this is going to go right. Now I've noticed I made it a little longer than I like, so I'm going to cut off because I like it to fit right in there after the L and right above all the ways. So I cut it off. There we go. That's better. I cut it off so it'll fit right there in that spot. All right, last thing for the front I did is I grabbed some of these beautiful, elegant, faceted gems. That was a New Year's resolution of mine to try to use more embellishments, and I have a trick on how I'm learning to do that, and I'll have to share that on another Facebook Live, just some tricks. And I'm going to grab these clear ones here, and I'm going to carefully put them right here on my card front. Okay. here, and then one more over there. And I just think that is just a gorgeous, gorgeous gift. All right. So that is the first. Now let me show you the inside of this. Okay, this inside piece of Whisper White here is the same size as this piece of Designer Series paper here. And that would be, let me check my directions here. It would be 7 3/4 by 3. 7 3/4 by 3. I stamped another one of the sentiments from the set right there, and then another flower there. That one is stamped, and then I used the same Flirty Flamingo and Calypso Coral blends on that. So that's how I did the inside. So that is my first project for tonight. I hope everyone likes that. I love it. I thought it was a great start to the evening. So let's go ahead and move to number 2. All right, this one showcases the foil paper, and that paper is called, let me get my catalog here. This paper is not the True Love. That's one we used on the last one. This one is called Love You Always Specialty Paper. And if you look here, you can see that it has some foil paper that you can see on the outlines of the flowers there. Okay, now we are also using this lovely ribbon, which is the Blushing Bride Metallic Ribbon. Okay, now let's take off the ribbon, and we're going to go ahead and open the box. Anybody want to make a guess for what might be in there? Yes, it's edible. All right, let's open it up. Come on, box, there we go. It is a Little Debbie snack cake. I found these, that you can get them anywhere that you can get Little Debbie's. They have them at Weiss, they have them at Walmart, wherever you like to go. Just look at the Little Debbie's section. But this is a little heart-shaped cake, and I just thought that was too adorable. Okay, so that's what is inside my box. This is a very basic box design, so easy, something that you could use for lots and lots of different projects. So let's go ahead and get started on the box design. Okay, this then just slides right back on here, and I have it set so that it slides a little bit under the little stitched, come on you, there we go, stitched die right there. Okay, and then you can have the bow to the right, or however you like. That's my thought. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this. Now this paper is, the color here is kind of a Rococo Rose, although they say it is Flirty Flamingo. I found that using the Rococo Rose blends looked pretty nice, so I used those with this. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. Okay, now what you're going to need for this project is a piece of basic black cardstock and a piece of the gorgeous DSP. So let's put that over there for now. Okay, this is the basic black cardstock, and this is cut at 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then our lovely piece of DSP is cut at 7 13/16 by 7 13/16. And the reason I kind of add that little 16th is gives it a little more size so that it will slip nicely over the box bottom and won't be too big. And let me show you something else I forgot. This Designer Series paper is a little fragile. So what I with my box lid, I made a reinforced lid. It's doubled up on the sides to make it a little more rigid, and so that it'll hold up a little better on the box. So I'll show you how I made the reinforced lid as well. All right, let's start with the bottom first. So we have our piece of basic black cardstock here. And I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored board. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score the piece of basic black at 1.5 on all 4 sides. Okay, 1.5, turn it counterclockwise, 1.5, 1.5. Simple. All right, let's just put that over here so we can do the rest of the scoring here. Okay, now for this one, I have to score at 1 and 2 on each side. Now, you'll notice with your scoring tool, one end's a little smaller and one end's a little bigger. Since we're working with paper that's a little more fragile than cardstock, I like to use the larger ball because then it won't push through the paper so far that you might tear it. Okay? So make sure you're using the larger ball on your scoring tool, and we're just going to score at 1 and 2. Remember, we're making the reinforced side, so that's why we have to score at 2 places on each side. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So I like to keep the scoring very simple. That's why we had to add the little 16th in there on our paper measurements, but then it makes the scoring a lot easier. All right, so those are our 2 pieces. Let's go ahead and start with the box bottom, and we're going to go ahead and cut that. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to get out my bone folder, and I'm going to go ahead and crease on all those score lines. All right. Now, let me bring in my template. This shows you exactly what your paper will look like after you finish cutting. Okay, I also include the templates on my blog post. So if you go and look on my blog, you can see this as well. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the bottom right hand, and you're going to notice there's a square in every corner. You're going to cut up that first score line right to the first horizontal, and then you're going to do a little bit of wedging on each side of that to make that a little tab that goes inside the box. Then you're going to turn the paper counterclockwise and do the same thing again. The reason we take the little wedges out is because that gives the box a little more room when it's going together in all the corners, that things don't get kind of overlapped and make it hard for the box to come together. It just gives the box a little more room. Then I'm going to do the final one here. So I did the same thing on all 4 tabs. Okay, so now we have the same exact thing here as our template. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together quickly. I'm going to grab my Tombow, and you're going to just put a little bit of your Tombow on every single one of those tabs. Okay, then you're going to grab it back up. You're going to take the tab, you're going to bend it down, and you're going to put it behind the side panel there so that you're lining up the fold and the edge of that side panel, just like that. And with Tombow, you just got to hold it for a few seconds, and you're good to go. We'll just make our way around the box. Same thing here. Holding it down, lining up your edge of your panel with the fold from the tab. All right, last 2 here. That's how quickly your box comes together with this design. Very simple design, very quick way to put your box together. Okay, you can also take your bone folder and rub over each one of the tabs on the inside to get it to lay flat. And again, if it's not quite in the right spot, it's Tombow. You don't have to worry. You can move it a little bit and then press it down. And voila, there is your box. See how simple that is? We got that all together. The bottom is finished. All right. Next, we're going to work on the lid. Okay, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go around and carefully fold and crease all those score lines. Now remember, you have 2 on each side. You want to be a little careful with this paper. Maybe be a little more gentle with your bone folder. Okay, because it is a more fragile paper, but it is so gorgeous, it's worth it. Okay, one more side here. And I think I have almost all this done. I didn't fold this one well. I mean, I didn't crease it well. All right, there we go. Okay, now this is a little different from the other. And I did this one in the Blushing Bride, but you can see my template here looks a little different. It kind of adds a second piece onto each of the sides. And that makes sense because this is the part that's going to fold under and reinforce each of the sides. So let me show you how I cut to make this template. All right, let's start here. Okay, we're in the bottom right-hand corner as we were before. We're going to cut up actually through the first horizontal up to the second horizontal score line. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing on this line. So both of the vertical scores here go up to the second horizontal. Then we're going to cut this one completely off. And then we're going to cut this one off to leave the tab. Then we're going to do a little bit of my favorite thing, wedging. But then we need to wedge here. That one looks like I almost did wedge already. And then we're going to wedge a little bit here because this is going to be folding under to reinforce the side. What do we do then? We're going to turn it counterclockwise and do the same thing again. Okay, we're going to go up to the second horizontal on both of those verticals. We're going to cut off both of these squares here. And then, I'm flashing a little bit, a lot of reflection there. And then one square here, which is going to be your tab. You're going to cut and wedge, and then you're going to wedge here on each of your reinforced walls. Okay, then let me check this one didn't fold quite right now that I see it. Let me fold this a little better. That's one thing when you score a little lighter, sometimes you miss the line. There we go, that's better. Okay, now we're going to turn it again. And we're going to do the same thing again. Okay. We're going to cut up vertically on those score lines to the second horizontal. Cut off both of those, and then the one below this, make that into a tab, and then you're going to cut a little bit of a wedge off the reinforced part. One more time, gals, we can make it here. Okay, up both here. And then we're going to cut off the two on the outside. One here to leave the tab. And then we're going to wedge, wedge, and wedge. All right, there we go. Now we have a piece of the Blushing Bride cut just as our template here. Okay, I'm sorry, this is the Flirty Flamingo, this is the Blushing Bride. Okay, both of them are gorgeous, but we're going to be using this one for our box. But they are interchangeable, you could really use either of them. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put our box lid together. And the way we're going to do that is very similar to what we did to the bottom. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit of Tombow on those lovely little tabs that we made. Okay, and same thing again. We're going to fold the tab down and behind the side panel and line up the fold score line with the edge of the panel and just hold that right there. Okay, now don't worry about the excess yet. We'll get to that. We're going to do that all the way around. Okay, folding in and behind each of the panels. And last of all here. Whoop, that one popped open. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder. There he is. And I'm going to run it on the inside over each of these tabs after they're in the spot we want them to be, just so we tell them that they need to stay right there. All right, so now I'm going to fold out our extra side panel there. Okay, now these are going to fold in and reinforce the sides a little bit. They're also going to cover up those inside tabs to give it even more stability. So I really love doing the reinforced boxes. I think it's really worth the extra effort because the box is going to be so much stronger. All right, so I put a little bit of Tombow on those extra areas, and I'm just going to fold them down inside and pinch. Fold it down inside and pinch. Fold it down inside and pinch. So they're going to be just as long as the side. So they should go all the way, pretty much all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to grab my bone folder and go over it like this. This really does a great job of getting it to stay in place. All right, so there is the lid. How quickly that was easy to put together. Let's go ahead and put these together, the lid on top of the box. And, oops, let's go this way. Well, there we go. Okay, there is our box right inside. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our embellishment on the front. Okay, and what we need for that is a circle from the Stitch Circles. Okay, I already have stamped in Memento ink and used the dies to cut out one of the flowers. And then for this one, I used the die set to make the love. So let's put that together first. Okay, so we have two pieces to make the love. We first need to cut out the background piece, and I chose black for that. Now for love, this is actually in two pieces. You got your L and your OVE. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the L first. And remember, I'm just going to put a few little dots using my Tombow. Again, you can also use the sticker paper, which I really need to show you how to use that. I put that note to myself. Then I'm going to go ahead and carefully lay it down on the black background. Remember, if you do get a little Tombow sticking out, it's going to dry clear, so you don't have to worry about that. Hi, Rhonda. Thanks for joining. All right, and then a little bit more here. And we will go ahead and add the OVE there. Okay, whoops. And then if it's sticky on your fingers, it's going to stick to your fingers. There we go. Let me get out my, oops, oh dear. All right, I just bammed it. Let me do that again. Sorry guys for the crazy ride there. There we go. All right. I'm pushing it down. It's better to use your pick tool than your fingers because your fingers are a little sticky. All right, now let's go ahead and grab our circle. And then I'm going to grab my pens here. Again, I said I was going to use the Rococo Rose blends. Okay, going to do it the same way. Going to take the darker and I'm going to move it along the little lines, kind of radiating from the center of the flower. Okay, then I'm going to grab the brush tip of the lighter and I'm just going to pull up towards the top of the petal, away from the center. And you'll notice that they blend together, but you still see a little more dark close to the center, just like you should with your flowers. Okay, and remember, you can always go back. If you look at it after you put your light on and you say, "Ooh, I think it needs a little more dark," then go back and put a little more dark in and then go back over it with the light. It's a lot of fun just kind of layering the colors on each other and see what you come up with. That's what's fun about the blends. They really make you feel like you're quite an artist when you're, well, I don't know about you, but I'm really not. So there, I'm going to leave it that way. I kind of like it. I think that looks great. And I'm going to take my dark So Saffron and I'm going to color in the center of this one. The other ones I left just plain white, and this one I just felt like I wanted to make yellow. All right, so there is the flower for this. There is the love. So let's go ahead and get these things onto our box. Okay, so first thing, we're going to take our flower that we just colored in, put a little bit of Tombow on the back, and I'm going to glue that right down onto my stitched circle. Okay, and then I'm also going to just put a little bit of Tombow on the back of this. Now noticing that the one part of it is going to kind of go off the end, so I don't want too much glue on the E there. Okay, and then I'm going to just push this down. And there we have our lovely little embellishment for the front. And all we need to do there is put our dimensionals on the back. I love these scripts, and they're just so much fun to put together. And they really make your projects look very, very elegant. All right, so let's go ahead and take the backings off those, and we're going to go ahead and put that right here in the left-hand corner. Now you can put it in the center if you like. It's really kind of up to you what you like best. Okay, final step. We're going to grab the amazingly beautiful ribbon that comes with the suite. This is called the metallic ribbon. Okay, and it has the Blushing Bride, and then the other side has a metallic look to it. Very, very pretty. I'm going to grab a piece of this, and I'm going to go ahead and tie it around my box up here on the top. You can decide where you like your box tied. I'm going to go with up on the top right-hand side. Okay, let's take a little more here. And I'm going to go ahead and tie my box. Let's see how I do tonight. Is it a good box tying night? I think we'll find out here shortly. Okay, not bad, not too bad. Okay, so then we can go ahead and pull the ends there. And then of the ends here that are left, we can go ahead and cut off. And he wants to go up there. I want you to come down here, please. There we go. So there's your box. So that one looks just like this one that I put together for my sample that has the Little Debbie's Valentine heart cake inside. So that is my second project, a very simple square box. Very simple to make, very fun to make. So that's number 2. All right, our last project for this evening is, I think, might be my favorite. So let's take a look at the last project here. And it is a cute little box. Again, I used some of the pretty foil paper here. and a belly band. So I'm going to pull this off here where the belly band is. And I'm going to open my box. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining. And inside are 4, count them, 4 of these lovely Ghirardelli Heart Duo, I think it's called. I can't remember, but these are little chocolates with caramel inside. I like to kind of go up and down the aisles, the candy aisles in all the stores and see what neat stuff they have for Valentine's Day. So we can fit 4 of them in the box. So that would be an amazing, amazing gift for anybody. We have a lovely belly band design. Super simple to make. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. First thing you're going to need is a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. And this is cut at 6.5 by 7.5. 6.5 by 7.5. I'm going to bring in my scoring board, and on the long side, which is the 7.5-inch side, I'm going to score at 3/4, 3.5, 4.25, 7. Okay, on the long side, we have 3/4, 3.5, 4.25, 7. All right. And then on the short side, we're cutting it at, where is my template? Oh, here it is. This is the one at, okay, this is the short side, and this is the one I forgot to write this is scored at 3/4, 3 3/4, 4.5. Okay, those are our, so it's 3/4, 3 3/4, 4.5. All right, let's go ahead and we can put that away. Here is our template again. Remember, the templates will be on my blog as well, so that you can see what they look like, and that can help you do your cutting. First thing I'm going to do is take my bone folder, and we're going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines. I've made a box similar to this, and for the Ghirardelli squares. So it's a similar design, but I had to tweak the measurements to fit 4 of those little heart duet candies in them. All right, so here we go. Let's grab our template here. You're going to notice on one side there is a 3/4 inch strip. On this side there's a 1/2. So this is the one that's we're going to create the little panel that goes inside the box with the adhesive on. So we're going to cut off that bottom piece, and then we're going to also cut off this entire top piece. So all that's left is this one section here. Let me cut that off quickly here. Okay, so only the 1/2 inch piece that is here across from that piece is the only piece that stays. All right, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut up. This is the bottom of our box. So we're going to cut up on those score lines. And we're going to go ahead and make our little tabs, just like we've done on every box this evening. Okay, now let's turn it this way. And we're going to do the same thing here. Now this piece here is going to be the part that flaps over. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut down through to the second score line horizontally and do the same thing here. Okay, same thing here. So we're still creating those little tabs that we need. So that piece is going to come off there. And this piece is going to come off there. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and wedge those. Okay, then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to turn down this tab here and you're going to cut off this entire piece. Okay, so the panel between the two tabs is going to be cut off. Okay, so if you look at mine and you look at this here, they look a little alike. We still need to do our rounding on the top of this one. So let's go ahead and do that next. For doing the rounding on this, I'm going to go ahead and grab my triple punch and round that top there. So that is it. All right, let me put our template away, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to put all our pieces of designer series paper on. Okay, I like to put the designer series paper on before I glue it together because it's a lot easier that way. Okay, you can really push down and make sure it's firm. Now, I actually put a piece of designer series paper on every single side. I think I'm going crazy, but there are actually 7 pieces of designer series paper. And if you look on my blog post and on the PDF that you can download, you have all the directions and all the dimensions of these rather than me trying to tell you, because there's a little bit of eighths and things with this. So when this is over, just go to my blog or download the PDF and it'll have all your dimensions for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all my pieces on my box. I love this paper. It's so pretty. I haven't gotten out the Sahara sand yet of the foil paper, but I'm sure that would make a gorgeous box as well. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take this smaller strip, and that's going to go right there on that top. That's the top part of the box right here. I'm going to put that right in there. Make sure I'm seeing it right. Okay, then I'm going to take this, and before I adhere it, I have to go ahead and round the corners with my rounder, and then I'm going to stick it right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put on the, oh, I think that, okay, so we have this whole side of the box finished. Now all we need to do is this piece here. And then the longer pieces here are going to go on the sides like this. I know you're thinking to yourself, my goodness, is that enough? But I just love this designer series paper and wanted to cover the whole box with it. Now, the reason I didn't make the box out of the designer series paper is because it's not strong enough. I really feel like you need to make the box out of the cardstock and then do the covering with the DSP, and you'll make a much more sturdy box that way. Okay, now this one actually goes on the bottom, so I'll do that at the end. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my Tombow on our little tab here on the end. Okay, I'm going to fold over the box, and I'm going to go ahead and just fold that end tab over onto the glued tab and just push it down. And that assures you that it's lined up perfectly. Okay, so there you go. You have your box ready to go. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and, since this is the front of my box, I know that this one is going to be the last one to get adhered. So I'm going to go ahead and take my final piece of designer series paper and put that at the bottom. Okay, and then we will fold it over and glue it to the bottom. Okay, there we go. All right, let me grab my bone folder and go inside there a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to just fold this over just like that. And we're going to make our belly band. Now the belly band is made out of a piece of cardstock that is 3/4 by 8.5. And the way we do this is we lay the box on top of the strip, and then we just bring the strip around. And as we bring it around, we pinch it a little bit at each of the corners. And then we do the same at the bottom. Okay, you want to make sure you're lining them up. There we go. All right, you want it to be straight, and you do your pinching, then you take the box away and you grab your bone folder and you crease down all those folds that you made, just so they know exactly where to go when you wrap it back around your box. And then you can always make sure that they're nice and straight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this right on the front again. And now with all those creased, they're going to stay just where they belong. I put a little bit of Tombow right there, and then I bring this over the top. Now we don't have to worry about that line being on the front of the box because we're going to be putting our embellishment right over top, so no one will see that. All right, so there's our box. Let's go ahead and make the final embellishment here. I'm going to grab this. This is another great way to use the flowers from the paper. Okay, what I did is I took my 2-inch circle punch and I took a piece of the paper. Okay, and what I did is I just went to a section of the paper that I liked the flowers, like right there. And then I just punched that piece out. Okay, and then I took a coordinating scallop circle, just a little bigger, and I can glue that right to that. So I'm going to do that right away. And glue that right down there. Okay, now I'm going to grab some blends. Now this was a quick blend. Let me find the ones I want to use. Oh, here they are. I used Petal Pink for these, and I just used a tiny little bit of color. So I took the dark Petal Pink, and I did what I did before, is I just, where the hatches were on the petals, I just put a little bit of color. So it's basically mostly a white flower, but the Petal Pink just gives it a little bit of color, so it stands out a little bit. Okay, so there's another. I just want to make sure I get all the petals here. Just a tiny bit of the Petal Pink. Petal Pink is a very subtle color, but it works really nicely if you want it to be a white flower, but have a little bit of color to compare so you can see the difference in the petals. The last thing I need to do here is go ahead and grab my favorite leaf making Old Olive. Oops, and I want to start with the dark. I'm going to go ahead under like that. And that's a petal, so that looks like that's all the leaves. And then I'm going to go back with my light and come out. Isn't that make that so pretty? And just that little bit of petal pink just really makes that flower stick out. I love that, so pretty. So that's another option with the paper you can use. Then I'm gonna grab my dimensionals. We're almost done. And I'm gonna put 3 dimensionals right here along the belly band. Gonna take the backings off and I'm gonna lay that beautiful scalloped circle that we just put together right on the top. Let's see, where do I want? I'm gonna put the leaves to the right hand side like that. Well, let's see, there we go. And just kind of measure and get that right in the center. So you can see I used a different flower than I did, but it's all from the same paper. All right, last step, I'm going to use the For You. That is from the So Sentimental. Just this little For You. I love that. I use that on a lot of my boxes when there's not a lot of room to write, but you definitely want to write something on the box. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a piece of the Blushing Bride paper, and I'm going to use black ink. Oh, and that's not the right size. I'm sorry. Let me get the right size. There we go. I thought that was a little too wide. Whoops, there goes the lid to my ink. Will be retrieved after. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that right there. Put that away. And then I'm going to just go ahead and cut on the left side. And then on the right side, I'm going to make myself a little banner. And then this, I'm going to glue directly onto the flower. Don't need any more of the dimensionals. So let's go ahead. And last but not least, we're going to put our little For You on there. Okay, so there is the second box. All right, so there you have it. And those are my 3. Bring them all back in again. This is my 3 projects from this evening. I hope you enjoyed those. I will have everything up on my blog, hopefully by tomorrow, so you can check and you can see which of the projects you like. Remember, look, if you look on my blog, there will be a link to a PDF, and that PDF you can download and print, and you can have that with all the directions on it. So I added that. I just think that's a great way for people that like to have them on regular paper. I'm kind of a paper kind of a person. I like having a paper planner and everything. I like that. I learn better than I would reading it on a computer screen. So make sure you download that PDF. Next week, I'm going to be coming at the same time, and I'm excited to share next week. I will be making some more Valentine treat boxes, but these will be geared to kids. So these will be boxes and treat holders for Valentine's Day for the kids in your life. So join me again next Tuesday evening, and I will be doing 3 projects with a Valentine theme that are for kids specifically. All right. If you are interested in buying any of the products we talked about, they are available in my online store, and my online store is a link from my blog. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And I just want to show you quickly the customer gifts. So anybody that buys anything from me this month will get a customer gift. Let me go ahead and go back down here. These are my customer gifts for this month, a cute little box. And inside, of course, you can all guess, there is some delicious chocolate. There's enough space for 2 of these beautiful dark chocolate raspberry Ghirardellis. So anybody who purchases from me this month will get a little treat box with all their goodies. So let me know if you have any questions about anything, and we will see you next Tuesday evening at 7. Thank you for hanging around for my whole Facebook Live, for my first one for 2021. So any feedback you'd have, I would love, and can't wait to see you guys again on next Tuesday. God bless.